Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindwald. This was directed by David Yates and stars Eddie Redmayne, Catherine Waterston, Zoe Kravitz, Johnny Depp and Jude Law. And it really follows on from the first film, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and it looks at Grindwald, played by Johnny Depp, who's been held captive. Ultimately, he is transferred to answer for his crime. During him being transferred, he escapes. He starts to seek out followers of his particular plans that he has, and he's looking for Credence Bearstone, who was assumed dead in the first film. Who is played by Ezra Miller. And he wants him for his own sort of reasons. It also looks at Newt and Tina, played by Eddie Redmayne and Catherine Waterston, and also Queenie and Jacob, and they're trying to find Credence as well, and have been tasked to do this. Newt has been tasked to do this by Dumbledore, played by Jude Law. So it's really a race against time to try and find Credence. They all want him for different reasons. Grindwald wants him for his particular plan that's going to unfold. Newt and Tina and Jacob and Queenie are all trying to find him to keep him safe, and Dumbledore doesn't want him hurt. And the Ministry of Magic is trying to kill him. So ultimately all these people are chasing after him. So ultimately it's a race against time of all these people coming together to try and accomplish their goal, to try and save this young man or kill him or use him for some other purpose. And there's a lot of twists and turns along the way, and there's a lot of things that we do learn throughout the film. And when we even get to see Hogwarts in this particular film as well. And it leads to a really shocking and interesting sort of ending that really feels like they're setting up for a third. I really sort of liked this. I thought it was a lot better than the first film. The first film had a lot of elements I really enjoyed and liked, but it ultimately wasn't a great film, where it just didn't feel like much was happening, and it was a little boring in parts, and there wasn't leading anywhere, and there wasn't much at stake with this sort of film. Where this one sort of starts with a bang, with Grindwald, Johnny Depp's character, escaping, and how that transpires, and the plan that he has is really interesting. Ultimately, it feels like they took the really bad parts, or the parts that didn't quite work from the first one, and sort of redid them and made those parts a lot better. And I think this film really shows that. They're able to tell a better story, I think, in a lot of ways. The film really feels like it's moving in a particular direction and leading to something. There's a lot of great action sequences. The visual effects are really good. I really like the world. I like being thrust back into that world. I'm not a huge fan of Harry Potter. I'm trying to be, but it hasn't really struck me. Where these sort of films have, I really like these sort of movies. I like the era it's set in, the 1920s. I like it's sort of a bit darker. I like it's looking at different characters we don't quite know, and it's this one's sort of opening up the world, where the first one sort of really focused on New York or America, where this one's sort of opening up and going to Europe and London and a variety of other places, and it's really interesting to see this world open up, and we see a lot more of it. I like a lot of the magic stuff in it, which is kind of interesting. I've sort of become a bit of a fan of sort of fantasy stuff after the TV show Magicians and some other things I've seen, and I was really impressed with what I saw in this film. I think everybody does a really great job. I think Eddie Redmayne's really great as Newt. He gives him some interesting characteristics, and I like the way he plays him. He's awkward, but a kind of interesting sort of character. Catherine Waterston's good to see her back in this role again, that she made popular in the first film, because I kind of like her, but she hasn't always made great films, or the characters she plays haven't been always fantastic, but I really thoroughly enjoy her performance in this and the first film. I really like her character. Johnny Depp, really liked him in this. I think it's the best performance he's given in quite a while, and looked like he was enjoying this character. And he was a really good villain, I felt. Jude Law was really great as Dumbledore. I think he's a very interesting actor. I haven't always been a huge fan of him. It wasn't until the Sherlock Holmes films that I really started to like him. But he's really great in this, and I wanted to see more of him in it. He's not in it a lot, but the moments he does have are really great. Zoe Kravitz is solid here, playing an interesting character. Playing Lita, who's sort of, I guess, a love interest of sorts, but she's much more than that. But she's sort of a character we sort of looked at a little bit in the first film, and then we only sort of threw a photo, and now we actually get to see her. And the relationship she has with Newt and Newt's brother, Theseus. And it's kind of interesting to see her interact with the other actors in this, and I think she does a solid job. She's an actress I kind of really like, and is slowly becoming, is slowly doing some really great work and getting some more lead sort of roles and more powerful characters. Ezra Miller does a really great job here as well. I think he's a solid actor and gives some great performances, and it's good to see him doing something a bit different in this sort of film and playing a character such as he does with Credence. I really like the look of the film. I like the magic aspects. I like that it just felt more engaging than the first film. I really felt sucked into it, and I really wanted to go on the journey with these characters, and I really wanted to see more of this sort of world. And it's become a really fascinating place for me, I find. J.K. Rowling serves once again as screenwriter, and I think she may have had a little bit of help with this screenplay, because I felt it was a lot better than the first one, and she added some really great elements, and she made the stuff from the first one that wasn't that entertaining more entertaining in this film. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. And like I said, it feels like it's leading to a third film, which I would like to see another one of these. If it's working within the same vein as this film, not the first, but this film, I think is really great. I was impressed with this, and I did enjoy myself. Final verdict. Look, if you're a fan of the first one, or didn't think the first one was great, but there's elements you liked, you may thoroughly enjoy this. If you like the Harry Potter world and the magical world, you'll probably like this a lot as well. I do recommend it for people who've seen the first one, didn't quite like it, because it is a lot better. I'm going to give this film 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing a bit more. I enjoyed the world, and I really had a good time with this film, and it was very entertaining and engaging, and I got a lot out of it. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do enjoy this video or any other videos on my channel, please hit subscribe down the bottom. And as usual, until next time, enjoy the movies.